Hi, folks. I would like to offer my condolences and sympathies to the families who were affected by that tragedy in Arizona. 20 people shot, 6 died by that murderous, low-life bum or bums, possibly 2 people. But here is what's going to take place, folks, and it's already started in these United States of America. The political left and then their people in the news media are going to exploit this tragedy in pursuit of 2 agendas of theirs. 1, gun control, because it is not the person who's responsible that pulled the trigger. You blame the gun. So we have to have more gun control. Never mind individual responsibility. 2nd, they're going to try to censor or curtail political discourse and or criticism in this country because they're saying it's gotten too heated. But I'll get into that. They're saying it's gotten too heated in the past couple of years, which has caused the violence to take place as we saw in Arizona. So what they're basically saying, only the past couple of years the rhetoric has heated up in this country? If you think that to be true, then you're ignorant. Or in the fashion of heated political rhetoric, you're stupid. That's it. Heated political rhetoric has been in this country almost since its inception. Case in point. See, I do read. President Andrew Jackson, in his presidential bid in 1828, it is covered in this book. And the heated discussions and criticism in here, I think, was worse than what we see in this 21st century America. They called his wife a bigamist. They called his mother a whore. They called Jackson himself a wife stealer. They said of his mother, now, at the time they said this, his mother was dead for 50 years. I should laugh. They said that his mother was a prostitute and that she intermarried with a Negro and sold his oldest brother into slavery. 1828, this political rhetoric. And they called his wife a black wench. 1828. And yet the Republic still continued, now didn't it? What took place here was an action of a lone lunatic or 2 lunatic individuals. Had nothing to do with the political discourse. This person is attributed to belonging to some organization which was anti-Semitic in its rhetoric. Well, the Congresswoman that was shot, she's Jewish. You think maybe that has something to do with it? His anti-Semitic leanings, as opposed to the gun in itself? Or the political rhetoric. He also, on his MySpace page, it is said he listed his books. One is being Mein Kampf, Hitler's Nazi book, and the Communist Manifesto. 2 extreme political books. Could it possibly be that also? The National Jewish Democratic Council suggested that what happened there in Arizona was because of the heated climate that led to this attack in the political arena. Once again, they're blaming politics and the criticism that takes place in politics. Then we have this bum, this low-life Democrat ex-senator from Illinois, Dick Durbin. That's right, the treasonous, the seditious one. You notice I have not eased up on my criticism, and I will not. He was on CNN talking about this incident, and he said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing, that we live in a world of violent imagery, and we in the politics and the news media need to be somewhat mindful and play down the heated rhetoric that takes place in the discussion of political issues. Did the treasonous, seditious bum from Illinois, that Democrat Dick Durbin, forget what he said on the floor of the United States Senate, June of 2005? Let me remind him and you. He accused American troops in Iraq of being Nazi-like in their behavior, conducting Soviet-style gulags, and behaving like Pol Pot, the communist from Cambodia. So now when the enemy in Iraq heard this, did not that embolden them to continue their fight against American forces, knowing that their politicians in America were criticizing this war and the war effort? How many more Americans were murdered in that war because he emboldened the enemy with that rhetoric? But when I criticize a Democrat and a lunatic operates like they did in Arizona, why, it's the rhetoric of the opposition, not the rhetoric of Dick Durbin, Democrat, causing more Americans to be killed in the Middle East. Another good example. Democrat from Nevada, Senator Harry Reid, conducting a committee hearing. In front of his hearing is General Petraeus, commander of the forces in Iraq. Before the commander even opened up his mouth, the Democrats and Harry Reid said to him, "You're a liar." Now, you're sitting in a mud hole in Iraq fighting Americans, and you hear this, that the government itself is turning on its generals. Does that not make you want to kill more Americans to continue the war because the Americans are getting weak? How many Americans died because of Senator Harry Reid and Dick Durbin, and how come the news media was not portraying that as possibly a cause to American deaths? Former President Jimmy Carter, Democrat. Former President X-rated Bill Clinton, Democrat. Former Vice President Alberto Gore and snake salesman, Democrat. On 3 separate instances, when they left the country to give speeches overseas, they degraded and criticized our nation's war effort and our commander-in-chief, President Bush, once again giving the enemy in Iraq further reason to continue killing Americans because the Americans are being divided, as displayed by Dick Durbin, Harry Reid, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, Al Gore. But that political discourse, heated discourse, that was never criticized by the left in the news media. I'm criticizing them, and I will continue to criticize 21st century Democrats as long as they maintain a position of treason, sedition, political correctness, and socialism. Those are the enemies of the Republic, and I will continue to criticize them with my last breath. Or was that bad breath? Anyway, I will continue to criticize them. And to you good folks out there, if you do not like the result of an election, violence is not the answer in these here United States of America. The next election is the answer. I did not like what happened in 2008, but I did not wish anybody harm or advocate violence. Instead, I make sure I vote in continued elections, get politically active, post these videos to annoy people. You can do the same thing. No violence, folks. That is not the American way. All right. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be in. See ya.